I'm really curious what you guys think about darker shades. And I'm not just talking about my vampy obsession. I'm talking about greens, blues, and even some off-the-wall browns. Trust me, it's a thing. When you see it, you'll know. You'll be like, oh, that I know. You ever see like a gray brown or like orange brown where it's like, it's normal, it's neutral, but it's slightly a little bit over? We're talking about those shades. Hey everybody, today I'm doing a review on LA Swatches Wickedly Divine Liquid Lipsticks. Now I have 6 of their new shades. Well, I'm holding 3 in my hands, but I have 6 all together, and this is their new formula. So some of these shades are a little bit old, some are new, but they're all reformulated and they're all in the new Wickedly Divine packaging, which I think is super hella unique, honestly, because you have the red jewel on top, which is a nice touch, and the glosses, by the way, there's the Sinfully Angelic glosses. They feature like a gold packaging with a pink jewel, and they even have a liner now that's Sinfully Angelic that also has a pink jewel. Like, their whole packaging is like getting really luxe. I love it. And you feature the color right here. So the packaging is so interesting. Like, I had to go into the packaging before I even get to the swatches. And I have swatches all 6 of these new shades. I am wearing one today, and this shade is called Nagini, I think it's called. And I actually have been a long time fan of this shade, and I have loved watching it evolve, because it used to be like a lighter shade and then it became darker, and now it's kind of like right in the middle of those two. So I really like the progression of the formula, and this is one of my favorite formulas for the shade. So before I give you the lowdown on everything I thought about them, like the full review, let's get to some swatches. So first of all, let's start by talking about the packaging. The packaging features the shade at the bottom. You can see it through a little window, and it features a red jewel on top. The first shade I'm going to be showing you guys is Mermaid's Tail. Now this is a mid-tone blue. It's definitely got a nice aqua shift, and it lives up to its name, Mermaid's Tail. It definitely looks like something aquatic. I loved how this applied very opaque. If you press your lips together slightly, or even run your finger across your lips once the product is dry, this will really help to enhance the metallic finish. Now this next shade is Coax. Now this is an uncommon brown, like I was telling you at the beginning of this video. This shade is basically going to apply like a chocolate brown, but if you notice, there is a subtle blue-green shift. Now just like Mermaid's Tail, this subtle blue-green shift can be amplified by, once it's dry, you rub your lips together or you rub your finger across the lip. I like to particularly rub my finger across the center of the lip. This way it adds like a highlighted look. If a stronger blue-green shift is not for you, you can leave it be as it is, and you'll only see that slight shift in brighter lights or up close. So it'll give you the opportunity to do something a little bit out of your comfort zone, but very, very subtly. Now if you love deep blues as much as I do, you're gonna love the shade Sirius. This shade is an ultra deep navy. Unlike the first 2 shades, I found this to be a little bit more of a watery formula, and this had the complication of staining. So if you're going to put this on your lips, maybe use a clear lip liner under it, or just be aware that this is going to stain your lips and basically anything else it touches. But the color payoff and the pigmentation is astonishing. Like, this is the brightest deep navy I have ever seen. And look, it is transfer proof, so once it's dry, you don't have to worry about it going anywhere. And this applies to all of these shades. They're all waterproof and transfer proof. This next shade I'm showing you guys is Sculpt. This is another kind of uncommon brown in that it's like a bricky brown. It's got a little bit of an orange tint to it, and I think this would really flatter like darker to medium skin tones, just because it has that little bit of an orange shift to it, and it would work with like warmer undertones. And I find that when you apply it to lighter skin tones, that orange really comes through, and sometimes in a harsh way. I personally like the way this shade looks on me because oranges usually look more red, so depending on your undertone, this may or may not work for you. I personally love wearing this shade in the fall because it's just got such a fall tone. Reminds me of like the changing color of the leaves. But overall, there was no problems with wear, no staining. It was thick. The formula was just the perfect consistency, and it was very opaque upon application. Now the next shade I'm showing you guys is Honeybee. Now this is a more nude shade. This is more very like common shade. This is one of those everyday shades that you can wear and incorporate into a lot of different looks. The formula in this was perfect. There was no bleeding, no feathering, no settling into the fine lines. That applies to all of these shades, and I liked that the formula was not as thin as Sirius. Now these shades all take about a minute to dry, so you want to let them really sit for that minute before you start pushing mushing your lips together or before you start rubbing your lips together. This works more as like a lip paint. You want to paint it on before you start moving it around. This is one of my favorite everyday wearable shades from LA Splash. Now stepping away for the nudes for a second, we're going to go to the next shade, which is Nagini, and this one is a mid-tone emerald green. Now this is going to be the most opaque green that you will ever try, and I love that it's a little bit darker so it doesn't come across as costumey or Halloween-like. It's dark enough that you can wear it in a very editorial or dramatic way. I like that. This would be great if you like shades that are like dark purple or dark blue and you want to try something a little bit different. This green is perfect. Just like Sirius the blue, it stains a little bit, but the formula is not as thin, so it'll be easier to work with. And as all the shades, it's waterproof, transfer proof, and you don't have any of those issues associated with like other liquid lipsticks where it's like it's not going to come off. You will have to remove this with an oil-based makeup remover in order to make it come off. So there is no need to worry about reapplication throughout the day. The only thing that will take this off is greasier foods or oil-based makeup removers. Now this shade is one of those uncommon shades that I feel really could flatter a lot of different skin tones, so if you're looking to step outside the box, check out this green. All of these shades are fun to work with and will definitely have you stepping outside of your comfort zone. So this is why I waited to the end to do a full review, because as you can see, some of these shades had a little bit of problem. The blue shades had the most problem for me. So that was Mermaid's Tail and Sirius. These shades just stained my lips ruthlessly, and I only wore them for like a quick second, so imagine wearing them all day. You're gonna wind up looking like you sample Papa Smurf's Ding Dong. Nobody wants that look. It's not a cute look, no. So I'm wondering if maybe when they reformulated these two shades, they put a little bit too much pigmentation in them, and that necessarily wouldn't be a bad thing, except for the fact that now it's staining the lips. I also found that the shade Sirius, when I pulled out the wand, the formula was so light and not as creamy as I was hoping it to be. It wound up like splashing color all over my table, and I have a white table, so I was cleaning off blue off my table, and my hands are even stained blue, even though I've wiped them over and over and over again. So this shade specifically, Sirius, I'm gonna have to say is a pass, because it's just such a staining shade. Like, I really wish they wouldn't have changed the formula on this specific shade, because the old one was a little bit thicker, a little bit creamier, liked it more. Mermaid's Tail had a similar problem, like it stained, but it didn't have all that consistency issues that Mermaid's Tail did. I also found that I mean, not that Mermaid's Tail, that Sirius did. Sirius was also a little bit blotchy for me, like I kind of had to go over it. They also changed their wands from the original long doe foot applicators, and the long doe foot applicators, I personally found them easier to apply on my lips, because I have thin lips. I mean, I have pretty thin lips, and when I'm filling them in, it's like the new wand is like kind of oddly shaped. So even though it's got a nice pointed tip to line your lips, it's like when you go to fill in, there's that pocket of product in the center of it, which would be fantastic for larger lips, but for me, it always winds up depositing too much product here, even if I start out in the middle of my lips. Like, no matter what I do, it's depositing way too much product on my lips, but then when I run out of product, if I put my wand back in, it's gonna put too much back on my lips. So it's like, I don't win with those new wands. Aside from that, I really loved Nagini. Like I said, the green one that I'm wearing here, I loved this one. And then there was the 3 browns, and when I say off the wall browns, we have the shade Honeybee, which is kind of like a yellowed brown. I personally like it, even though it's a little bit of a non-traditional brown. And then you have your Coax, and Coax has a color shift in it, kind of shifts a little green blue on the lips, and I thought that that was again another off the wall brown that would definitely appeal to someone that say can't wear a blue or a green every day. Maybe they work in corporate, you know, or they work in an office where they're like, okay, you know, no blue, no green, you know, hide that, that's on your weekend self, you know, you can't let your freak flag fly here. You can probably get away with wearing Coax. And then there was Sculpt, which is a definitely more of an everyday shade, and I feel like if you like the whole vampy packaging, but you want a more, you know, normal everyday shade, you can find it in this one. So even though I love Nagini, this one also stains, but not nearly as bad as Mermaid's Tail, not nearly as bad as Sirius. Also, I just want to mention to you guys that I have a promo code, so if you'd like to save 15% on this or any purchase you may make. If you decide to purchase these, you will save 15% if you use my promo code MUA708. So even though this is an affiliate video, like I'm an affiliate with them and I did receive these complimentary, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm gonna give you 100% truth here on my channel, and I'm telling you what I liked and what I didn't like, because I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I am not, you know, I'm not a candy factory. I am the truth giver. So yes, so that's how I felt about these lipsticks. Have you tried them? Have you tried the old formula? Would you try the new formula? Do you like the packaging? Let me know what you guys think about LA Splash's Wickedly Divine, I'm dropping them now, Wickedly Divine liquid lipsticks. I would love to hear your opinions. What kind of shades are your favorites? Do you like the darker, bolder, louder shades? Do you like the unconventional browns? Or do you kind of gravitate towards more traditional shades, even if they're just the red, pink, nude kind of family? Let me know where you stand on the spectrum. I love knowing what you guys like and what you don't like. It kind of makes me feel closer to you guys, and I read everything you say. So if you want, leave me a comment, send me a DM on Instagram, email me. I read everything you guys say. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to thumbs up it, like it. Also, be sure to subscribe if you're not. Hey, I have lots more videos coming. Tutorial, skincare, you name it. I'm always making something. Also, if you're not already, please head over to my Instagram at Recycled Stardust. It's right here. So follow me there, because I'm always posting reviews, swatches, looks, even little mini tutorials on there. And under all my looks, I have my makeup recipe where you get every single detail of every single product I use down to the shade. So it's kind of like a condensed version of what I put here on YouTube. So if you want to go back and be like, oh, I liked that look she did, I want to know what she's wearing, poof, you can just go to my Instagram. It's right there. Easy to find. So, and if you'd like to check out this brand, if you'd like to check out LA Splash, if you've never been to their website, I will be leaving a link in the info section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.